Are you absolutely exhausted, Chicago Bulls fans? Are you utterly fed up with the perpetual cycle of mediocrity, the tantalizing glimpses of potential that always seem to fade into the familiar landscape of the middle of the pack? Because today, we're not just talking about another trade rumor. We're talking about a stark reality check for a franchise desperately clinging to the past while the future slips through its fingers. We're dissecting why a sharpshooter like Kevin Huerter could be the crucial piece that finally forces the Bulls to choose a direction, and why the time for half measures is over. Welcome to the news channel. I'm your host, and if you bleed red and black, you know the pain. The Chicago Bulls, a franchise steeped in championship glory, has spent far too long wandering in the wilderness, oscillating between retooling and contending without ever truly committing to either. The numbers don't lie, and they paint a grim picture. A mere 3 playoff wins in the last 10 seasons. 3. That's not just stuck in the middle, that's basketball purgatory, a place where hope goes to wither on the vine. The days of Michael Jordan soaring through the air, of Derrick Rose electrifying the United Center, feel like ancient history. It's time for a change, a real, tangible shift, in the upcoming 2025-26 season. While unlikely to feature a contending Bulls team, could be the most pivotal in shaping their next era. This offseason, like many before it, has felt somewhat stagnant for the Bulls. They've been one of a handful of teams held in a frustrating holding pattern, largely due to the restricted free agency of a key player. Though in Chicago's case, the specific name isn't as important as the effect it has had. This kind of off-season gridlock often translates into a far more active regular season on the trade market. Front offices, unable to make significant moves in the summer, are forced to reassess and react once the games begin and the true strengths and weaknesses of their roster become glaringly apparent. And for the Bulls, those weaknesses, particularly a lack of clear direction, are becoming impossible to ignore. This brings us to the latest whispers from around the league, and a name that has surfaced as a prime potential trade candidate for the 2025-26 season, Kevin Huerter. In a recent insightful article from Athlon, Nathaniel Holloway specifically named Huerter as a player who could be on the move. Now, for those who might need a refresher, Huerter was acquired by the Bulls from the Sacramento Kings last season. He arrived with a reputation as a legitimate sharpshooter, a player capable of stretching the floor and providing crucial spacing in an NBA increasingly reliant on the three-point shot. And let's be honest, the Bulls could absolutely use more shooting on their roster. Every team in the modern NBA craves reliable outside threats, and Huerter certainly provides that. But here's where the cold, hard business of the NBA comes into play, and why Huerter, despite his valuable skill set, might be wearing a different jersey by the end of next season. The core issue isn't Huerter's talent, it's his timeline. The Chicago Bulls, whether they want to admit it or not, are not a championship contender right now. They are not one piece away. They are a team that needs to either fully commit to a rebuild, accumulating young talent and draft picks, or somehow miraculously find a way to acquire multiple star-level players to propel them into the upper echelon of the Eastern Conference. Huerter, a solid veteran shooter, doesn't fit the timeline of a rebuilding team. He's not a future cornerstone, a franchise-altering prospect around whom you build. He's a complementary piece, a valuable asset for a team that is already contending or on the cusp of it. This is precisely why Holloway's observation hits home. Huerter's shooting ability could help the Bulls grab a solid package from a contender next season. What kind of package are we talking about? We're talking about draft capital, those precious first-round picks that are the lifeblood of a rebuild, or an intriguing young player, someone who does fit a longer-term timeline, someone with genuine star potential. This isn't about getting equal value for Huerter's current production. It's about leveraging his value to acquire assets that align with a clear, forward-looking strategy. From an expert's perspective, this is a no-brainer for the Bulls. They've tried to win now, but also develop approach, and it has consistently failed. They've been stuck in the dreaded treadmill of mediocrity, a place where you're never bad enough to get a top draft pick, but never good enough to seriously compete. To break free, you have to make tough decisions. You have to be willing to part with valuable players who don't fit the long-term vision, even if they fill an immediate need. The Bulls do need shooting, but they need a clear direction more. If dealing Huerter can net them a first-round pick or a young player with a higher ceiling, then, as Holloway succinctly put it, Chicago has to bite. This isn't about dismantling the entire roster, but it is about being strategic. It's about recognizing that you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't be a pseudo-contender while simultaneously trying to build for the future. The NBA is too competitive, the margins too thin. A team like the Bulls, with their rich history and passionate fanbase, deserves better than perpetual limbo. Moving a player like Huerter, who has genuine value, to a contending team is a responsible step towards either a full-scale rebuild or a more aggressive retooling that targets specific high-impact pieces. It's about creating flexibility, acquiring assets, and finally committing to a path forward. The alternative is more of the same, and frankly, Bulls fans have suffered enough. The time for patience, for hoping things will magically turn around, is over. The time for decisive action, for making the tough strategic moves, is now. So, what do you think, Bulls faithful? Is it time to embrace the rebuild, to trade valuable veterans like Kevin Huerter for future assets? Or do you believe there's still a path to contention with the current core, and that moving a shooter like Huerter would be a mistake? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button if you found this analysis insightful, and make sure you're subscribed to our channel for all the latest news, rumors, and in-depth breakdowns from around the league.